How's it going? Kia ora and welcome back to the CouchSide Sports Report, hosted by the CouchSide Network. Myself, Dylan. This is Simon. We're here talking sport, talking smack, talking shit, having fun. It's what we do, and that's about all I've got for an intro.
Great intro. You've really summed us up quite well there.
Yeah, no, I would say that was pretty accurate. But how's everything's been, mate?
Oh, things are well. Things are good.
Yeah.
It's Monday. It's daylight saving, so it's actually still bright outside when we record this, and hopefully it'll still be bright when we finish recording this.
Yeah.
For once, because usually it's pitch black.
Yeah.
But now, not so much.
I'm going to also say, just in case somebody internationally does listen to the podcast and doesn't know what daylight savings is, here in New Zealand, between late September and early April, usually, the clocks go, is it back an hour?
No, go forward an hour.
They go forward an hour.
We just went forward an hour.
Yeah, so we get more daylight, aka daylight savings.
Well,
the only problem is, it means we get less sleep when it first starts.
yeah.
So.
Well, I tried to get up early this morning to go to the gym, and I woke up at about 5 o'clock, and I went, absolutely not. I'm going to bed, because it still felt like 4 o'clock. So.
Yeah. Well, I had work very early this morning anyway. Every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I start work at about 5:10 in the morning.
Rough.
But I did wake up early enough to catch the second half of the CouchSide Derby,
yes.
which we're going to talk about later. And, of course, we're going to go through our Aotearoa local sport as well. We're going to talk All Blacks. We're going to talk Black Ferns, who had some huge awards as well. We're talking the NRL prelim finals, where everybody breathed a sigh of relief. We're talking Silver Ferns, NPC, FBC. Then we go to the international sport, of course. CouchSide Derby, we're talking about the NFL. We're going to talk about the last, I say last, but we're going to talk about the Rugby World Cup qualifiers.
Yes.
Which had its second leg between Samoa and Chile as well, and plenty of other international sport as well. But before you do that, go and follow us on the socials at couchside.network on TikTok and Instagram. And also go and subscribe to us on YouTube, which you'll be listening or watching this right now on, and go and follow us on Spotify as well. You can search up CouchSide Network on YouTube and CouchSide Sports Report on Spotify. And with that being said, sir, shall we get into the sport?
Well, I guess we should, because that's why we're here. That is why we're here. Why we spend all the money on these microphones and this camera and this laptop and
very true,
and everything in between.
Very true. Well, let's get into this All Blacks Wallabies Rugby Championship game, man. That happened at Eden Park. And you told me before that we got away with murder, and I think even though we did win, and I'm very glad we did win, and if we didn't win at Eden Park, there would have been some noise. I do also sort of agree that we did get away with murder in a sense in this game.
I think we did. But for those who don't know, final score was 33-24 to the All Blacks. The All Blacks pulling it out right at the end, thanks to a try to Cam Roigard.
Yes, sir.
One of many players will be diving deep into today.
Yes.
The All Blacks did start off hot. Caleb Clark scored just a couple of minutes into the game on the wing. Love to see it. Ended up getting 2 on the night.
Told you people we needed him.
Yep.
Told you.
We definitely did. Leroy Carter also adding a try. I know, obviously, Cam Roigard got one as well. I'm guessing it was one more try scorer, maybe?
So Cam Roigard got 2.
That's right. So, 5 tries on the day. The Wallabies themselves got 3, I believe. Forgot who scored for them.
That was... I forgot as well.
Off the top of my head, but...
Oh, no, I know one of them was my girlfriend's unfortunate favourite player.
Oh.
And that is Harry Potter.
Oh, well, yeah, because of the name.
Because of the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very magical player on his day. But yeah, this was a game which was marred by refereeing controversy. What game isn't these days?
True.
But this one is I think the one time as an All Blacks fan where we've played a game and people have complained about the ref, and I go, well, I think if any other ref that game, I think we still would have won. Probably not the case this time around.
Yeah, there was definitely. I think Wallabies fans can be
a bit aggrieved.
Look at that and be like, man, there were some calls there that were shit.
Yes, and I don't think all the calls didn't go like the wrong way. There were some calls that were wrong for New Zealand, not as many as Australia. Also, Australia were rightfully penalised a lot of the time.
Although the penalty count was fairly...
I think it was 10-14 to
Or was
Australia.
it 14-12? I think it was 14-12.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
It was quite close.
Which is fairly even.
But at the same time,
yeah.
and it feels like this with a lot of refs these days, the breakdown wasn't correctly or just consistently refed at all.
Yes.
Which was a shame because...
I will speak on that, though, because I do have to cut the referees some slack here. Have you been in a breakdown before?
Oh, not in a very long time.
Good luck trying to referee and see what's going on, because it's literally everybody sort of covering each other, and like it's very like the fact that the referees actually make calls on breakdowns. It's actually pretty insane that they can see that. But Australia, the Wallabies can definitely feel like they got shafted at some.
But it wasn't, they weren't playing the greatest game ever and were shafted by the referees. They did have moments where they were putting themselves back. I think
definitely.
One man in particular, unfortunately, as much as I love him as a neutral, James O'Connor, he was struggling
his kicking was not very good in this one.
Struggling to make touch all game, which really held them back a bit. It meant the All Blacks had a little bit more breathing space, a little bit more time to focus on attacking the Australians, and they almost came away with the win here. They've got some very talented players. I think in general for them, it was just how they worked together as a core. Like they were quite, well gelled as a team, and I don't recall any real standout players. Like obviously there was, but James Slipper's in 150th game, and he's still as integral to the team as he is. Swati, from what I saw, was good. He didn't have a breathtaking game, but you could tell he was good. But I feel like at times that they were struggling under the high ball. They could have used him.
I think he could have got himself more involved.
Yes.
Also, you know what I found out this weekend? I completely forgot that he was the one that hit Reece Walsh in the State of Origin game.
In his first and only Origin game within about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did not know that was him until I looked back and like all of a sudden I was getting all this Wallaby stuff on my social media, and that comes up, and it's an interview with him talking about it.
Well, depending on who you talk about, some people would say he did a good service that day, but
oh my god,
I mean, personally, not me.
We did not. Me neither.
Reece Walsh is an ex-Warriors player. I can't hate an ex-Warriors player.
I do expect him in the game in Perth to get himself more involved. That's what I actually think his centre partner Len Ekito did.
Was also quite good. I might say.
Did a great job of getting himself involved. But I think you can more at 12 than 13.
Yeah.
But I do think you'll see Suoliti get himself more involved in the next game in Perth.
And he might get the opportunity at fullback. They might not have been, although I don't think Corey Toole and Harry Potter did particularly anything wrong.
No.
But
I don't think Max Jorgensen had a terrible game either at the back.
Because I don't think Jorgo would get dropped. I think one of the other wingers would get dropped for Jorgensen if I were going to move Joseph to fullback. But
like you said, Harry Potter might magically disappear.
He might do
onto the bench.
Unfortunately for them, Tate McDermott being injured is not good. He got injured fairly early. Ryan Lonergan making his debut. So I see he hasn't been recalled up to the squad, but they've added Nick White to the training squad.
They did.
He's retired twice in the past 3 months. He'll be hoping to retire.
Stay
retired. But for Australia, like they had it was a really good performance. But imagine if they had players that were missing through injury and through unavailability, like Will Skelton. Would have
who I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, is in the squad for Perth.
Yes,
they announced that him, Rob Valentini back as well. Huge.
Yep.
There's guys coming back that if the All Blacks play like they did, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah. And if we actually speak on the All Blacks for once. In this game in particular, there were some standout players. I would say Cam Roigard. We have missed him so much. He's a very much the same way how Dupont kind of he's the real playmaker / Marshall for France, not the 10. I almost feel like Roigard should be doing that.
Roigard is becoming that,
I think he is that, and I think that's going to help us kind of stick with everyone. Is we're going to have a 9 like Roigard, but hopefully we have a just as capable 10 behind him. Like Bowden and DMAC are solid options right now. I would have preferred the Bowden of 8 years ago to the Bowden of now. And McKenzie, he's fine. He didn't do anything spectacular in the last game. He was I think he was all right. I think some people are going to try working it. This is the game where he's wrestled the 10 jersey.
No.
I don't know.
No.
We
That-
definitely
he-
fell as soon as he came
Yeah.
on. We fell flat for the rest of the half.
Yes.
It only really took till the end of the game for it to really stick up, and I don't know if you would have put that on D-Mac.
I need to call All Blacks fans out right now. I'm sick of seeing comments where, you just got to give D-Mac time. Just got to give D-Mac time.
He's 29.
He's been given time.
Yeah, he's 29.
He's been given time. And he has a great role off the bench. And honestly, in games where he's on the bench, he's been brought on too early because of injury. But like guys, I know D-Mac's a great player, fantastic Super Rugby player.
Yes.
But he is who he is at international level. I'm sorry, and I know I'm putting myself out there. He may hear this. This is nothing personal against D-Mac. It seems like a great dude. I love the smile every time he kicks a goal. And to be fair, he kicks a goal way more consistently than Beauden Barrett does.
He is a more consistent goal kicker right now, which I will give him. But I don't think that's the reason to start him at 10 because you need someone who can manage the game.
Beauden Barrett is your starting 10, and although definitely not perfect in that game in Wellington against South Africa and under pressure, I do have questions of him. He's your best 10 right now because he can play, mate.
Yeah.
And that's not just cross-field kicks. So
and I have a feeling I do recall in parts of the game where D-Mac was doing very similar kicks at one stage, not spamming them as much, but he was doing it at a stage. I'm like,
that's what we need from a 10.
Yeah, but he was doing the stuff the type of kicks that people get pissed off at Beauden for doing.
Yes.
I felt like he was doing them as well. I was like, I don't think this is a player issue. I think it's a coaching issue.
Yes, you did actually bring that up. Is it? Yeah, let's ask the question. Is it a coaching issue?
I think we reined it in at the end of the game because there wasn't as much in the last 10 minutes. I think Razor or D-Mac himself might have just realised, I shouldn't do this, even if the coaches told me to. But look, he didn't lose. He took the win.
True.
The Eden Park streak is still intact. Other All Blacks players of note, both wingers, Caleb Clark, Leroy Carter, we have missed.
It's funny what happens when you play wingers at winger.
Well, more capable, in-form wingers on the wing. Because unfortunately, Rieko Ioane, Sevu Reece, not necessarily on form, in my opinion.
Also, we miss Caleb Clark badly.
Oh, we did. As soon as
he as soon as we bomb the ball, what happens? We bomb it to him and we get the ball back. Like that's what he does.
To have Caleb back on the team, and I think Leroy Carter really did work well at 14. I don't know.
He did.
I don't think long term he's the 4. I think people forget how old he is because you see people like, Carter's gonna be like the next best young winger.
He's 26.
He's 26. Like All Blacks wingers usually don't get past 27 or 28.
Yeah, 26 is young.
He's got
if it's rugby, different.
On average, it's a 2-year shelf life, unfortunately. But the fact he's really only played sevens for the last 5-6 years might be the difference.
And I will say, you mentioned his name. I thought Leroy Carter had a pretty good game. There was moments there defensively where he was great.
Yeah.
I won't lie, I did see some, I call it Sevu Reece tendencies in his game. I hate putting it that way.
A little, but I think
a little bit of Sevu Reece tendencies, but not to the extreme yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's as apparent.
No,
to me. But he put on some massive hits, which is kind of Sevu-esque. If you look at it, some big hits. One on Iki Tau, defensively very sound.
Yeah,
like he didn't seem too troubled under the high ball, but Australia weren't spamming it as much as teams like South Africa have and Argentina have and France have. So I think that was a bit of a relief. We haven't really played a team who isn't a high ball team. Although I would suspect Australia would be, but look, I think they both played well. I would like to see some more choices made at 13. I would like someone else to get a run. It's no hate on Billy Proctor, but I just think he's a little bit of a passenger at this point.
Well, let's talk about this. I've said this before. Billy Proctor, definitely a massive hard worker.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. But I'll say this. Came on the wing because he had to. And yes, there were passes that he absolutely missed, except for the one to Roygaard at the end. But Quinn Tupaia has played very well.
Yeah.
And how many times have I said, and honestly, I'm going to say this, whether he's at 12 or at 13, although I'd rather have him at 12 because I know Geordie can pass the ball.
Yeah.
Why are we not trying him in the starting lineup?
I think we might have him start at 13. However, I am scared if he starts at 13
Agreed.
against Australia because they're going to name Darcy Swain starting. And we all know what happened last time.
Yeah,
I don't want that to happen again.
Why is Darcy Swain playing professional rugby? I'm asking this question again. But I'm going to carry on this conversation because hopefully we can get a clip out of it.
Sure.
And keep that in. But actually, no, before that, we will get a clip out of this. Yes, they were very aggressive, Australia, at the breakdown, but they beat us at the breakdown.
Oh, we were not good.
They beat us at the breakdown.
I don't even think we were particularly ill-disciplined. We probably should have been ill-disciplined
Yeah,
more than we were. But at the breakdown, we were losing the ball a lot, but we did have some good moments. Artie came through with moments. I think Tupou came through with moments. But Australia were winning at the breakdown quite consistently.
And that's because, here's the thing, right? Like, you can talk about the refereeing of the game, and yes, I think it may have changed the result. But Aussie also put themselves into it and shot themselves in the foot because their plan clearly coming in was be aggressive at the breakdown.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, like Fraser McWright was a pest.
He was. Another player who I think was a standout. Yeah.
Fraser McWright was a pest the entire game at the breakdown. And I think we're going to have to come back and be better at those moments. This is where, and he's being questioned now, and I think rightfully so, this is where I'm looking at Wallace Atiti.
Yeah.
I see, like, Wallace Atiti is running with the ball, but he's missing at the breakdown.
Yeah.
And when you're a loose forward, we need you there.
I think that's a big point. And at number 8, I mean, you could have Artie Van, you could have someone else at 7.
Yeah.
Which I actually feel like long term might be the way forward.
You might, even though I don't agree with it, because I think he's much better at 6. You have Parker that can play 8. You put Tupou at 6. You have Scott Barron and Fabian Holland starting.
Yeah.
You could do that, even though I would not agree with doing that.
I don't know. He didn't do too much when he came on, but you have Peter Lakai back in the fold now.
Yes.
I don't know if he's much of a breakdown threat, but maybe give him a run at 8.
Also, can I just say, I think he should be the starting loose forward on the bench.
Yeah, no, Lakai was my first choice
that.
as well.
Yeah.
Just ahead of Jacobson. I love Kirifi, but it only makes sense if we're naming a 6-2 split when we have an extra loose forward because he can't. Or we've got the most versatile starting back row, like we've got guys in 6, 7, and 8 who can play all those positions already.
Yeah.
But
the breakdown, we're absolutely going to have to improve because
we do.
we're like we did lose that battle, and I think like you said at the start, we got lucky that we. What's the word? That the refereeing in that case was somewhat on our side.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't, they were beating us at the breakdown. They came in with a clear plan, and honestly, excuse my language, fucking executed it.
Oh, they did.
But but we got lucky with the calls and stuff like that, and they were probably a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to come out better.
Absolutely.
At the breakdown especially. But in terms of, I want to say set piece in general, which was a big thing from the South Africa game, I didn't think our scrum was too bad. We probably won the scrum just.
Yeah.
And our lineouts definitely weren't too bad either.
Don't think we lost a single lineout in that game with no Scott, but obviously Fabian Holland in there. Patrick Tuipulotu coming off the bench.
Yeah, huge
was
as well.
Huge, missing his presence. We'll see if Scott is fit for next week. I think there was murmurs of Tupou maybe being slightly injured. I'm not sure.
He was slightly injured in that game. There was, to be fair, there was that moment where a lot of guys went down.
I mean, we had
Caleb with the ankle.
Caleb went.
Sounds like he's going to be able to play. We need him.
Yep. Bowden. I think there was another back with an issue who maybe I don't remember. But yeah, in the forwards, like Tupou seemed a bit injured. I think.
Oh, who did Tupaia
come on for? Clark.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he did play on the left wing, right? They didn't shift him around. Like they didn't shift Jordan to wing. And
to be fair, no, they didn't. They put Tupaia on the wing. They did move him mid to the midfield very often.
Oh yeah.
But which kind of, I think we got lucky with it, but kind of halted it a little bit.
Yeah.
But honestly,
but he's played on the wing before.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not like he's not being.
He's not an All Blacks winger. Don't get me wrong.
No, but he showed that he can come off the bench and play wing if need be, which is what he did. And I would like to see him get a shot. before anyone asks, reportedly Leicester is not eligible till the end of year tour, hence why we haven't seen him yet.
I still, and I'll be honest with you, I know that name's flying around because that's the new guy, the new guy on the block in some way, even though he's played for the All Blacks. But I think Tupai is deserving of a shot. I think he's proved it.
I think Tupai should get it first, and if it's still not working out, then sure, maybe give Leicester a shot. Maybe Leicester gets a shot on the wing ahead of maybe Leroy Carter at some stage. Who knows?
The one thing I will say that Leicester could probably do at 13. I don't think anywhere near as good as Rico Ioane at 13, but Leicester can probably defend a wide channel. Because he has that experience on the wing and does somewhat have that speed. But I think Tupai is deserving of a shot. But I think if it's going to happen, I'm going to say it again and again and again until it happens. Tupai at 12, Geordie at 13. Let's see how it goes.
Go on.
Hurry up, Razor.
Do
it. Because you were shitting your pants the entire game at Eden Park. Because if you lost, you knew what was happening.
Oh,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're just
put that on a clip and smoke
it. We're just going to make sure we don't lose in Perth. Razor has to make sure. I think if he wins in Perth, it will maybe make everyone a little bit more comfortable, and then we don't have to worry about anything till Europe. We've got Ireland and Dublin. We've got England, Scotland, and
we have Ireland and Chicago?
No, we have Ireland and Chicago. That's
we will talk about the game in Dublin later on.
That's why I was getting mixed up. Ireland and Chicago, but England at Twickenham, Scotland at Murrayfield, where we have the longest undefeated streak in the wood, I believe, at about 110 years.
Oh, is this at Murrayfield?
Sorry, Murrayfield, because we've never lost a game there.
Eden Park's the longest streak of games. Under that is our undefeated streak at Murrayfield.
Because we've only ever played Scotland and maybe some other World Cup teams there, and we've won every single game.
Have they got other known rugby fields?
In Scotland? Not where they'd play national games. But they'd maybe play games at Hampden, which is the home of Scottish football, neutral ground, but it would always be at Murrayfield. I mean, obviously, the only other big grounds here would be Celtic Park and Ibrox, which aren't football rugby grounds at all.
Fair enough.
And then at Wales, they play in Cardiff.
So let's end it off here. Just one thing, and then we'll move on. One thing you would like to see from the All Blacks in Perth.
This time would be being better at the breakdown. I guess the cop out would be discipline, guys, because that fixes everything. But I think in this case it'd just be better at the breakdown, whether it's just getting Wallace to kick up the ass to do better at the breakdown, or giving another person a shot at 8, because it could be Artie at 8 and Lackite 7, or Lackite 8 and Artie at 7, or maybe Razor goes, oh, Luke Jacobson, you're back, cool, go there. Which he's barely played, but it could maybe happen. I don't think he's played for the All Blacks at all this season yet.
No, he hasn't.
Maybe Kidify gets bolted back into the lineup, I don't know. But in terms of like the team, in terms of squads, the squad itself, the only changes you're going to really see of note is who replaces Bowden. It's probably D-Mac. You'll see Ruben Love on the bench, who I'd say maybe would be worth giving him a shot in this game over D-Mac, because he's at an age where like it's play him now or not. Really, like we're seeing other teams like both England and South Africa have got very young 10s who are clearly going to be leading them for the next decade. We don't really have that. It could be Ruben Love, we're not giving him a shot, and there's a lot of clouded opinions. So I'd like to see him get given a decent shot against Australia, because out of all the team, I reckon he'd probably get a shot against Wales on the Northern Tour, because they're in a bit of a state right now. Saying that, imagine I say that and they go on and beat us.
True.
But because
they do have Reece Zammit back as well.
They do.
Who actually looks bigger and still the same speed, which is crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's what NFL will do to you.
Yeah, true.
But I think in terms of the squad, we won't see too much change, but I'd love to see Ruben Love given a shot. I think the only other change I'd ask for is maybe a change at 13. Forward pack-wise, maybe a change at 8. And just all the changes we need to do to stay healthy. I think there'll be propping changes because Lomax might still be hurt. The Groot is not past his HISA.
Is hurt. He'll be out for
the
next game.
So we'll see Williams and who's the backup?
Ollie
Norris. And then we'd see if Lomax is hurt, it will be Williams and Tossie. But yeah, and if Scott Barrett's back, figure it out, Razor. Just drop him keep him dropped if you have to. Unfortunately, if you don't think it's going to work, I think it will. It will just be at the expense of Fabian or Patrick, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
And then the one thing from me, just to sum it up, I still want to see a much more possession-based game.
Yeah.
When we started the game with possession and started getting the basics right, getting that speed, getting it out wide, we scored tries.
Yeah.
And then we randomly go away from it.
Yeah.
Yes, I get the kicking game as part of the game and you need to have it, but at the same time, know what your strengths are and use the possession game to then get the kicking game from there. I don't see us still doing that. So that's the one thing I'd like to see. But we've got plenty of other outdoor sport to talk about, including more rugby with the Black Ferns versus France in the, the bronze medal game of the Women's Rugby World Cup. And what happened, my man?
Guess what?
What happened?
I watched this game.
Did you do you stay up to watch it?
Yeah.
Very good, sir.
Because I forgot daylight saving was happening, and then I was in bed at 1:45 thinking, okay, if I fall asleep in 15 minutes, it's 2, so I'd have 8 hours sleep. I wake up at 9, or 7 hours if I woke 7 hours I woke up at 9. And then I realised it wasn't 15 minutes to 2, it was 15 minutes to 3. And so I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I woke up on Sunday feeling quite tired. And even this morning I was
Good on you for committing to watching the freaking game.
Oh, I know. It wasn't too hard, but the Black Ferns did get the win over France, 42-26, who were pushing us at first. They were giving us a bit of grief, much like the start of the South Africa game and the quarterfinals. But some vintage Black Ferns rugby. There's some brilliant passing tries, long-range tries. The whole team, I think, was just motivated to get a win because for a lot of the girls on the team, it would have been their last game for the Black Ferns. True. So I think they all wanted to get a result. And also in the tournament on a high because, losing the semi-finals, unfortunate, but you get one more chance to leave the tournament on a high, walk away with something at least. And I think the context for this tournament, us coming back with third, is probably not a bad one because it was always going to be tough if we matched England or Canada in the semis. And obviously we did go out to Canada, but beating France, who are a capable team as well, by the scoreline we did. Very good.
It is very good. I mean, we were up, 26-7 at halftime? Something like that?
Renee Holmes was much better with the boot.
Yeah.
Prior to which he had been. The whole team was just playing well as general.
Yeah.
The forward pack, the back line, the wings especially. Obviously, Braxton scoring again.
Yeah. Twice.
Twice, you can't prevent it.
No.
Having Portia in the team and obviously having someone like Caitlin Viacolo coming off the bench. And then this likes of Stacey Walker, Sylvia Brunt,
True.
And Georgia Miller. You can't.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talent.
Braxton is almost like the Will Jordan of the women's game.
It's at this point. Well, how many tries did she score at the tournament?
So she 11? Was the top try scorer with 11 and the top point scorer as well.
So she's already got a 5th in that tournament alone. Got a 5th of Portia Woodcliffe's all-time
tries.
Portia, you might not have that record for long. If Braxton's scoring 11 tries a year, she's going to be not even our age now and be the all-time top goal scorer, top try scorer in All Blacks, not All Blacks, New Zealand rugby history. It's madness. But she's one I think if they need to prioritise keeping one player in New Zealand rugby, it's her because no doubt she's going to have interest in the NRLW. They'll be calling for her name. If she goes to the Warriors, and I wouldn't be as upset. Obviously, I'd be quite happy if she was going to like a Roosters or a Broncos. I'd be like, whoa, what are we doing here? We need to keep our players under contract.
Yeah, and Braxton also, it was announced after that game. Or was it after the final? No, I think it was after the final.
Well, yeah, because the final was straight afterwards.
Yeah. She won Women's Rugby Breakthrough Player of the Year. Which Georgia Miller, who got nominated for that, and Women's World Player of the Year, probably would have won if not for Braxton. But like I said, Braxton was also the top try scorer and top point scorer at this World Cup, which is madness. And the Women's World Rugby Player of the Year, and well deserving, didn't go to Georgia Miller, unfortunately. It went to Canada's Sophie De Goody, who we've talked about on here is the Canadian John Eales. She's mean.
Absolutely well deserved. I assume Ella Kildoon was nominated for that as well.
Ella Kildoon
she won it last year.
No, or was it?
Or maybe she wasn't this time around.
No, I think it was Ella Kildoon. I'm pretty sure it was. It was Kildoon.
She's pretty
Georgia
much
Miller and
the face of English women's rugby at the moment. She's on podcasts. I know she's often at the front of England's rugby media. She's always doing stuff for the women's game there as well.
Surely at some point we get her on this podcast.
Oh, I would like to get all the women's
iPods.
That would be sick. Kildoon, Alona Meyer.
Alanima, yeah.
Is it Ellie or Al? Those names it could be an I. I always forget. It doesn't matter. Also the likes of Ruby Tui would be awesome.
Be sick. One day, people. One day. Keep watching. Keep listening. We'll make it happen. Trust.
One day, it just won't be us on the couch. We'll have some more interesting people to talk to and deep dive into.
But you've got to start from somewhere. But
exactly.
But nope, the Black Ferns do get the bronze, which is awesome. And yeah, we'll see what Braxton can do. But like you said, we've got to keep Braxton in rugby union because she's going to be mean.
Absolutely. Same with Georgia Miller and all the youngsters as well, because there will be interest from the other codes.
True that.
NRL. Maybe even genuinely AFW might try and wave the bag over her.
Yeah.
Because I think it's not the hardest sport, I think, to pick up if you're already quite good at rugby. We've seen a couple of rugby guys go in the AFL and do all right. I mean, a guy whose name I'm not going to say right now because I don't want to get in trouble, and Carmichael Hunt. They all played in AFL.
I can't lie, I don't know who you're talking about, but we're going to leave it at that.
The guy who lost Rugby Australia all their money.
Yeah. No, anyway.
Yeah, anyway. I think that's... Wait, do I have something else to say about that? I don't know.
No, but we can definitely move on to the next thing because everybody's breathing a sigh of relief after one of these prelim finals.
The NRL. So, prelim finals, Storm hosted the Sharks on Friday night, and the Storm, unsurprisingly, got the win 22-14. And then on
Uncle Matt, my condolences, mate. But hey, you got to the prelim finals and the Warriors didn't, so fair play.
Exactly. But the Broncos versus the Panthers at Suncorp. Panthers 14-0 up at halftime. What do the Broncos go and do? They kill the dynasty. They slain the Panthers. No 5-time champs. No last to first success story. The Panthers dynasty has been temporarily broken.
I was about to say.
Because they could well and truly come back next year and win it, and then it's still 5 and 6 years.
Yeah.
But the Broncos have slain the Panthers after the Panthers completed one of the comebacks of comebacks 2 seasons ago in 2023, and what was one of the greatest grand finals of all time that I had the pleasure of watching at home. The Broncos have ended the dynasty. And same from the Broncos. Adam Reynolds with a clutch late minute, very late conversion to take them up. Solid defense, big games from a lot of the Broncos guys. You like some Reece Walsh, Katoni Staggs, Payne Haas, obviously Adam Reynolds.
They needed their second half, man.
They needed, and it means the Broncos are back in their second final in 3 years. The Storm back-to-back finals. They'll be hoping to do the job. But the Storm versus the Broncos is going to be quite a battle of different types of rugby league, like how each team plays it. There's some great players on both sides. It's going to be a very interesting game, and one I'm struggling to kind of, favor one team or the other. As in, who do I think is going to win?
I don't care. You're throwing out a prediction right now.
Well,
you're throwing it out right now.
Storm or Broncos, it will be a tight game. It will probably be under 4 or 6 points, in my opinion. I think they'll just be at each other's throats, putting on a good game.
True.
Might even be a low-scoring or a high-scoring tight game. I couldn't tell you.
But it'll be a tight game.
I am just going to say it. I think the Broncos sneak it. I think they get their first championship since 2006, or first grand final win since 2006. The Storm won too much, but obviously they haven't won in 5 years or 6 years or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna say the Broncos sneak it. What's your thought?
And I agree that'll be a very close game.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go opposite. I think the Storm are gonna sneak this one out.
Well and truly, it could be either team sneakingly, or the other team could smash the other team. Who knows?
Rugby league will win this. Will win anyway with this game. I'm sure of it.
Speaking of Australian grand finals, we've barely talked about it this year because we don't really watch it. But the AFL grand final was at the same time as the All Blacks game, which is a bit of a shame because I do tend to watch the AFL grand final, but it wasn't the end of the world for me. But it was between Geelong and Brisbane, and it was level at half time.
Yes, it was.
I think Brisbane won by about 60 points.
Brisbane did win.
I forgot his name, but one of their 21-year-old won back-to-back Norm Smith medals, which is MVP of the final, basically.
That's tough. 21?
21 years old, and already recovered from a torn ACL. So
tough.
Insane.
Holy.
One of the father-son players at Brisbane Lions, one of his, I think his dad played for them, and I think his brother's at the team as well. But that Brisbane team,
so very similar to the Clearys.
A little bit, yeah, very similar. So that's 3 finals in a row for Brisbane, and that's 2 wins now. Obviously, they beat Collingwood last year and lost to Collingwood the year before.
Yep.
So they'll be very, very happy. Oh wait, no, sorry, they didn't. Was it Collingwood? No, I think they played Sydney last year. My bad. Yeah, they played.
Yeah,
Sydney.
they did play Sydney.
They played
yeah.
the Swans last year. So congrats to the Brisbane Lions.
Let's go.
And to Queensland AFL once again. Shame on the Melbourneian teams, can't even win your own comp.
Your own
and
game.
it's the same in the NRL. Sydney teams can't even win their own comp, and your dynasty Penrith is probably the furthest team out of Sydney who's
I was about
technically
to
in
say.
Sydney. It's very far. But back to rugby league, the grand final is this Sunday at 9:30 p.m. The New South Wales Cup, however, finished on the weekend, and the Warriors have won it for the first time, beating the Dragons 30-12 in Parramatta. Means they'll play in the NRL State Championship, which me and Dylan had no idea existed until today, at 3:20 p.m. against Queensland's Burleigh Bears.
Is that on Sunday as well?
That's on Sunday at 3:20 p.m. The NRLW final will be on the same day as well. And there'll probably be one other game, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
It's going to be a rugby league type of day.
It is going to be. I probably should stay up and watch the final, even though I would want to get up early on Monday, but we'll see what happens.
I won't be able to because I have to get early up on Monday. So
Rip to
there you
you.
go. But that, like you said, that'll be a great. Broncos Storm are gonna.
It will be a
are
great
going to be
game.
a great fight.
It will be an absolutely great
Could
game.
it feed families? We'll find out.
Oh, well and truly could. Well, let's move on to sport being played here. Silver Ferns and South Africa playing in the Tiny Jameson series down the Napier and Invercargill last week after New Zealand took up the first game pretty easily. They beat South Africa 70-58 in Napier in the second game, and it was a tight, I think, last shot win, I believe.
It was the last shot.
They get the win over them in Invercargill 57-56 to complete the sweep. Now, I know we'll be playing Australia, I think, later in the year. Couldn't tell you when it is. I assume it's at the Constellation Cup or whatever. But
I think we're playing England as well.
Oh, yeah, we will tell you. It's not anytime soon, but we will inform you. But good performances all round. Obviously, I think everyone is still wanting Old Noel to come back. So we'll see what happens in that situation. Because I think people are forgetting. Well, I think a lot of people have realised and are saying that Noel is probably one of the best coaches, if not the best coach to have in netball. So.
Yeah, to be fair, and the Silver Ferns have been, I'm trying to think of the word, have been privileged with coaches. Ruth Aiken back in the days.
Yep.
I think you had Dame Noli and Todua, I think, take over after that as well.
She's had a couple of stints in the team, I think.
Yeah.
So.
And then, I mean, you had another great coach that I've forgotten the name of before Ruth Aiken as well. So
there's countless.
Yeah. So I'm sure even if and when hopefully Dame Noli Todua is able to come back.
Yeah.
But even if she didn't, I do fully trust that Netball New Zealand would be able to find a pretty bloody good coach.
Oh, you'd hope so. You definitely hope so. But let's move on to some more local sport at NPC.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, Auckland went down on the early game of the week to Hawke's Bay, 45-28.
Which takes them out of
well, I think they were basically already
quarterfinals
out
contention
of it.
as well.
Already out of it. Southland at home, despite scoring 38 points, lose to Tasman 38-55. Ranfurly Shield Otago survive their first.
Finally, someone defended it.
Their first Shield defense. To be fair, they're playing against a North Harbour team who haven't won all season.
True.
Winning 41-26. Taranaki get a good home win over Wellington 39-20. Bay of Plenty, huge win over Waikato at home at 41-5. And then Counties Manukau also beating Manawatu 48-24. And a draw. Northland and Canterbury 19-all. Which you love to see. I see you have the table up.
I do have the table, so I thought I'd update it since there is one round of regular season to go.
So, is there still any teams with a potential to break into the quarters?
So, at the moment, let's just go. I would say the top. I mean, to be fair, it's actually quite close. All round, the top 6 are actually quite close. So Canterbury's at the top on 37 points. Then Otago just under them on 36. Canterbury's got the one draw as kind of saved them. Taranaki is just under under Otago on 32 points. Bay of Plenty's on 31 and Hawke's Bay's on 30. So that's 3, 4, 5. And then Tasman's on 29. So that's your top 6. I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, I
then-
doubt it looking at Waikato's points differential.
Yeah, and then you've got what do you call it? Then you've got Waikato and Northland at 7 and 8. Now Counties Manukau have made quite the surge.
Yes.
To end the season, they're on 22, so they could get up there. Barring what happens with Waikato and Northland, who in the next round Waikato they actually play each other.
So
Waikato and Northland play each other.
So if counties will be obviously looking at that game, licking their lips essentially, because they will be looking this.
Counties will have to play Tasman in Tasman.
Yeah, they're away to Tasman, so
That's going to be tough.
counties need. Well, essentially, if counties win, they're going through to the next round.
Yeah.
If it's Waikato and Northland they're overtaking, we'll find out.
Yeah.
It's probably a bit too late for Wellington. They could win with a bonus point and potentially overtake Northland on points difference, but they need counties to lose as well.
Yeah.
And Wellington themselves are
They
hosting Bay of Plenty, which
Tough.
isn't an easy game because Bay of Plenty are currently 4th, and we just saw against Waikato can thrash a team when they want to.
True that.
So yeah, we could see County sneak into the 8. I'd love to see it, but also I'd love to see Northland remain in the 8 as well. So that's really it for the NPC. But on to the other PC, the FPC.
The FBC.
the
And
Farah
my
Palmer
prediction was wrong.
Yeah, you're fully wrong. Canterbury and Waikato winning their semi-finals. Canterbury getting the win over the Manawatu Cyclones 39-22, and Waikato getting the win over the Storm 36-29. Waikato versus Canterbury at Waikato Stadium in Hamilton. This Saturday at 1:15 p.m. So before you're waiting, I don't think we actually said the All Blacks play the Wallabies in Perth on Saturday night at 10:45 p.m. I don't think we mentioned that.
Well, it's mentioned now.
It's been mentioned now. And obviously rugby league's all on Sunday. So something for you on Saturday, NPC, FPC final as well at 11:15.
Yes, sir.
As we move on to, well, I didn't even realise one of his comps. Where it even started? Basketball. The Australian National Basketball League and also New Zealand's Tuahi Women's Basketball Aotearoa.
Yes, sir.
It started off for the year, but
Yes,
I
sir.
will hand this over to you.
Come on.
To talk about a couple of Breakers one Breakers win in here. Some international players getting their first minutes in either the league or a new team
True.
as the new season continues to get underway.
Yes, sir. So let's go ANBL first. First game was the Melbourne Derby, two of Simon's favourite teams. Melbourne United played the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and the Melbourne United look united as they smacked the Phoenix by 20, 103-83.
Maybe I was wrong.
The next game, very, very close. The Taipans did win against the Bullets, 83-82. The Breakers went ahead early and then lost it in the end. They lost to the Perth Wildcats in New Zealand, 89-78. Koppinen officially on the hot seat, to me at least. I will talk about that a little bit after this. The Illawarra Hawks played the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, and the Jack Jumpers got the win despite Mr. JaVale McGee. First game in the ANBL, and he popped off for 32 points and 13 rebounds in that loss, which is scary for the Breakers, who are struggling in the paint
If you
at
didn't
the
know,
moment.
JaVale McGee's actually a Hall of Famer
Is that right?
in Shackton a Fool. You know,
Yeah, that's a good point. I won't lie. I praised JaVale McGee so much because he was known as dumb to start his career. Took a break from basketball, but was out of the league. Came back with the Warriors, won 2 titles with us, and then made quite the NBA career for himself. And now he's still playing.
I thought he won with the Lakers as well.
He did win with the Lakers.
Yeah,
in the bubble. Yes,
I think he was also balling in Puerto Rico before this.
he was. He absolutely
from
was.
memory.
Him and Hassan Whiteside.
Yes,
balling in Puerto Rico.
I think Hassan Whiteside was a bit different because like McGee was still getting points and a lot of rebounds, and Whiteside was like getting maybe 3 or 4 points a game and probably about 16 boards.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
still balling.
But it's awesome to see JaVale McGee in this league. Just wish he was playing for the Breakers.
Well, I'm surprised he's willingly living in Illawarra. I mean, obviously, LaMelo Ball.
Well, LaMelo Ball lived in Illawarra.
Would he actually have lived in Newcastle though, or would he have?
I think he would have.
No, sorry, that's not. Illawarra's Wollongong.
Wollongong. Yes, yeah.
God, LaMelo Ball living. I mean, he lives in Charlotte now. Is there much of a difference?
That's a good point. And we carry on. Sydney Kings played, I'm pretty sure what was their first game of the year.
Yes.
And they lost to the Taipans 77-74. I don't expect the Kings to lose many games. And speaking of first games, the Adelaide 36ers played the Brisbane Bullets, won 87-80. Bryce Cotton for his first game after a legendary career at Perth, playing for the 36ers. I mean, he goes off for 39 points in his 36ers debut. That is what he does.
Should rename him the 39ers at that point.
It's
39
not-
points to
that is
Bryce
not
Cotton.
wrong.
But also 36ers, fans rock by the news that Montrezl Harrell is gone.
Yes.
Because apparently he was going to be suspended because of a marijuana charge in China. And even though apparently the NBL in Australia don't do that for players, they don't ban players or thing players for marijuana, because it was in China, they still have to ban him for whatever reason, and that's not great, because Montrez was a great player for Adelaide, and he was a great player for the league.
Talks a lot of shit, but
I mean, which basketball players don't?
fair.
Honestly.
You can't be mute on the court, to be honest.
Oh no, unless you genuinely are. But I don't think
yeah.
there are. I don't think there are many
Yeah.
mute players.
But to end off the ANBL discussion before I move on to the Tauihi women's basketball,
Yes.
The Breakers, I'm going to talk some Breakers. Look, I think after this game, I know it's 3 games in, but after last year, to me, Koppinen has to be on the hot seat.
I mean, yeah. What's it, 0-3?
Yeah, 0-3, he has to be.
But also at the same time, are we losing to teams which are considerably better or worse?
No, I don't think talent-wise, no. I think you could argue the Breakers actually have quite a lot of talent.
Yeah.
You could argue in terms of just talent on paper, you could argue the Breakers are a top 5, top 16.
Yeah.
On paper, Kareem Lopez is a great young guy.
absolutely.
Parker Jackson Cartwright's a great player.
Could
Isaiah
end-
Brockington's a great player.
Could end up a top 5 draft pick in a year's time. You know?
Exactly. So
Genuinely.
we genuinely have the talent there, but something's off. And I
Yeah.
think the players do have to look at themselves. And I think coaches get way too used as scapegoats. But Koppinen is on the hot seat. At least to me, he's on the hot seat. So,
yeah, I think
yeah.
you'd obviously give it another couple of games. Like if
Yes,
they,
yeah,
if they
yeah.
win the next game and maybe even if they lose the one after that, but still look good, then you
Yeah.
know, maybe let's calm down a bit.
Yeah.
But obviously, you do have to be a bit careful when you start off 0-3. I
Yeah.
personally don't know what point it is when you go, okay, now that's enough. But if that does happen, 100%
Yeah.
a local guy's coming
Yeah.
in, right?
Yeah, I would think. I'd honestly think you just have Judd Flavel take over.
Yeah.
And I talked about this last week. Judd Flavel's been. I think he should have had an ANBL job a long time ago. But yeah, I think it would be Judd Flavel that would probably step into that role.
And I think because we've built quite a local team this year,
We have,
I think it would.
which is a good thing.
It'd
by
be
the way.
good, and I'm not saying that they need a local coach and we shouldn't have foreign coaches at this point. But I think if Koppinen was to go,
Yes.
I think if we brought in Judd, it would improve it a bit, because
Yeah.
the majority of the domestic players are all Kiwis. We've got barely
Yeah.
any Aussies, and then we have the same amount of imports as everyone else, plus Kareem
Yeah.
Lopez as a next star.
Yeah.
So,
So I do. Yeah. I think you could. It's very realistic that you see that happen. But it will be, like I said, interesting to see what happens. To me, Koppinen's on the hot seat. I could see Judd Flavel going in and doing a great job. But at the same time, I think the players also do have to look at themselves as well, because
Absolutely.
we are still turning over the ball.
yeah,
but
that's not a
our-
coach issue.
Yeah, but also our rotations have got to change. You've got to play Rob Baker in the middle. And I love Sam Meninga. It's a guy I actually used to play basketball with. I love Ruben Tarangi, but Sam Meninga is not that guy that you yet. Let's say that is not that guy in the paint in this league yet.
Yes.
And I think you do need Rob Baker next to him, and I think that'd be pretty good. So
Yeah.
I'd love to see that adjustment, so to see what it does to, how we work in the paint. But yeah, Koppinen's got to be on the hot seat for sure. But also, like you said, the Tauihi women's basketball Aotearoa, their first round
It is.
was this past weekend. And the mainland Polkai, who are from Christchurch, of course, look magnificent after finishing last year. They started off great, beating the Southern Hoi Ho, a little Southern classic there,
Yeah.
121 to 83.
Well,
were you going to say something?
Lucky for you, I think. I think they're the only 2 South Island teams in this comp.
Yes,
So
very true.
When you say Southern Classic, in this case, it is the only Southern Classic in this league,
It
as
is.
opposed
It is.
to when you talk about the NBL NZ and
the
almost
NZNBL, yeah.
when there's about 5 teams.
Yeah, that's very true.
From the South Island in every game in between. It's a classic.
Well, I will say this. I hope that this women's basketball league does get big and they can expand teams. Moving on to the next one, the Tauranga Whai, who are the defending champions in Tauihi, did lose their first game to the Tukomanawa Queens, who are Wellington, Palmerston North sort of area, 84-78. And then the Northern Kahu, who are now part owned by Dame Lisa Carrington, they lose their first game to the mainland Pokai, 88-83 at home. Definitely want to get to a Northern Kahu game at some point, even if it's just to hang out with Dame Lisa Carrington, you know?
Oh, well, of course.
It's got to be done.
But also, absolute madness in any game of basketball to be putting 121 points on anyone.
Yeah, big facts.
Let alone in the Tauihi women's basketball out there at all. It's like, we didn't see that at all in the NBL this week, you know?
No.
But no, apart from that, local sport, I don't really have anything off the top of my head to mention as well. Apart from the cricket, the Black Caps are back in action this week. 3 T20s, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, all in Tauranga at the Bay Oval. And guess what, Dylan? I'm going to the last one, Saturday night. First ever cricket game I'm going to.
Oh, first ever?
I've never been to, paid and actually gone. I've walked past Eden Park once. Going into Eden Park for a rugby game, there was a T20 or there was a domestic game going on at the same time on the outer oval.
Yes.
So I remember walking past that. So we'll be going 7:30 or 7:15 kick off all the games. Against Australia. Great players on both teams.
True.
Let's give it a watch.
It'll be good. Just make sure to take your pillow.
No, we'll be fine.
Cricket fans, I love you. I do love watching cricket.
It's T20.
Oh, T20 is all good.
Because it starts at if it was a one-dayer or a test match, which starts at 7:15 at night,
it'll go to like 5 in the morning.
Exactly. And I'm not there for that. But
there is a reason that I picked up the NFL ball.
Oh.
Because it is a great segue into the international sport, because the first thing we're talking about is the NFL.
It is, and the NFL had its 4th match day or 4th round of the season. As
4th week of the season?
And it was the second international game of the season, and it was, as me and Dylan said, the CouchSide Classic. But before we get into that, last Tuesday, a Monday Night Football, and a big game. The Detroit Lions hold off the Baltimore Ravens 38-30. Raising more questions about the Ravens, and we'll talk about them again in a second.
I'm a Steelers fan, but Ravens, no excuses. That's going to become a theme.
But the Lions look good, and everyone can now see how good the Lions would have been last year if all their players weren't injured, because they were struggling last year and still almost made it to a Super Bowl. So,
true.
Hey, as we move on, the Cardinals beat the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football, which is Friday here, 23-20. Probably a fairly underwhelming Thursday night, Friday matchup. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. I mean, great players on both teams, but come on, they're neither of them at the top teams in the league.
Yep.
But then we get to the CouchSide Derby, which was this morning in Dublin, Ireland, at the home of Gaelic football in Croke Park. The Steelers having a home game here, but they do, luckily for you.
Luckily for you,
narrowly get the win over the Vikings despite conceding 2 late touchdowns, 24-21. Carson Wentz tried his best. But yeah, you actually watched part of this game.
Yeah, I'm going to break this down a little bit. If you hear the squeaking, it's my mic, it's not me. I'm going to break this down a little bit. Do you know the reason why Carson Wentz wasn't very good?
Yeah.
Because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense had 8 sacks.
Yeah.
2 interceptions.
Yeah.
And right up until the end, dominated.
Yeah.
Dominated the game. It was 24-6 with 7 to 8 minutes to go. So, look, I'm not going to be a deluded Steelers fan. I know how this goes. Oftentimes we start the season really well, get to 10 games, start losing games, finish 10-7 and lose in the first round. So I'd like to see some more. But what I was happy with, last week I said the Steelers needed to improve the offensive line play. That's exactly what they did in this game.
That's good.
We actually had Kenneth Gainwell, who was our starter for this game because Jalen Warren was out at halfback, at running back. Actually went for 19 attempts for 99 yards, so I think it's about a 5.2 yard average, which is a miracle for the Steelers of the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's really good to see. Hopefully our young O-line can just keep that cohesion together, keep playing together, and keep getting better. I'd love to be able to see that because that's going to change a lot. Because a thing that gets thrown around with the Steelers is complementary football.
Yeah.
And what that means is we have such a great defense now, but we've had a really unbalanced team, and you need the balance there.
Absolutely.
So you need your offense to not necessarily be elite, but at the same time they need to be really good.
Yeah.
You know, we need to have those explosive plays. DK Metcalf went for an 80-yard touchdown. We need stuff like that. We need the running game. And a lot of that comes down to the offensive line. And I do think Aaron Rodgers to start the season is playing well, but at 41, he is going to tear down.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that continues to go.
If you can find a quarterback in the draft to have sit behind him.
Very true. I mean, we have Will Howard, who yes is a 6th round pick. He's not going to be a Tom Brady, but you know he did win Ohio State the national title. So
there's a couple of players here which might sneak in, but we'll talk about after we go over all the results.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I liked what I saw from the Steelers, but at the same time, we're allergic to winning games by more than one score. Stop it. Stop it.
Lock in, because you might actually win your division, and that's
we are winning the division at the moment, which is crazy. Bear in mind the Bengals do play the Broncos tomorrow, which we'll talk about soon. Carry on with those results, my man.
Could go either way. Joe Allen and the Bills get a pretty resounding win over the Saints, 31-19. The Texans are back on the W column. They beat the 0-4 Titans now, 26-0. And a great quote from their fresh new rookie quarterback and number 1 pick Cam Ward, who said, "I'll keep it a buck, whereas," in an interview, as to why the team were 0-4. So he kept it real. I kind of don't blame him for that. The Lions, Jared Goff absolutely decimated the Cleveland Browns, 34-10.
Thank you, Lions.
Maybe we might see Shadow Sanders given an actual run out at quarterback for them next week. We'll see. The Falcons get a win over the Commanders, 34-27. Michael Penix Jr. in the starting seat for them now at quarterback.
Yes, sir.
The Eagles did have the fight for this one. The Bucks put in a good effort, considering they've had a really good start to the season. Baker Mayfield's side going down to the Eagles, 31-25. Patriots, huge win over the Panthers for them, 42-13. The Giants get the win over the Chargers. That's unexpected, 21-18. Jackson Dart's first start, and he gets a win over a pretty highly rated team.
He wasn't too bad, and the Chargers do like So that's the thing. Like the Chargers are the one team at the moment that is like, are they contenders or are they pretenders? We'll see after this, because they did lose to a Giants team that's not very good at the moment.
And I think he, Dart put on the an adequate performance.
Yes.
Unfortunately, his main target, Malik Neighbors, has torn his ACL. So that's going to change everything. And I saw Giants fans on Twitter basically posting videos. So Malik Neighbors has torn the ACL. And it was basically people jumping off buildings. So
oh my goodness,
they're taking it well. Twitter, can you fix your what would you call it? Your sensitive content thing? Because I don't want to be at work just watching someone jump onto a power line and then get electrocuted and fall off. Not fun to watch.
That's when the sports has gone too far, man.
I know. But after that, the 49ers, they also lose to the Trevor Lawrence Jaguars, but they're not too bad. They're in the playoffs last year or the year before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So they're a good team. They have Travis Hunter as well. 26-21 win for the Jaguars. The Rams, lucky to get the win over the Colts, 27-20. The Colts, this would have been level if the Colts' wide receiver didn't put his arm in front holding the ball as he was running into the end zone and then proceeded to fumble the ball a foot before he would have scored a touchdown. Man. So that's unfortunate for the Colts. The Raiders narrowly go down a blocked field goal in the dying seconds of the game to the Bears, 25-24. Clutch play from Caleb Williams to get another win.
Yeah, man.
Look out, everyone. And then a big game of the day, the Chiefs and the Ravens. The Chiefs get the win at home, 37-20.
And it looks like Lamar Jackson is injured, which he has been injured before.
Yes.
Actually, the reason he hasn't played the Steelers as much is because for some reason when he plays the Steelers, he is injured.
He's always injured.
I hope the best recovery for him, but I don't care. I'm a Steelers fan. Yes, I'm wearing an Eagle shirt, and I just broke down the Steelers before. I do not care. You can still wear whatever shirt you want if it looks good. What's it called? Ravens, no excuses, man.
Who's their backup quarterback now?
It's not Tyler Huntley. It is. Okay, actually, it could be Tyler. No, I don't think it's Tyler Huntley. Let's give that a search.
Oh, you'll look, because there was one more game today. The Cowboys and the Packers playing at Cowboy Stadium, and this game was still going on when I left for work. Left from work to come here. It was 37-all at the end of regulation. It was a 40-all draw.
Oh, okay. I've got who it is, but carry on.
40-all draw. Some good moments in there for both teams, but walking away with a draw is a bit unfortunate because you want to get the win,
True.
obviously.
And also, everybody that's like me, I don't have it yet, but that plays Madden 26.
Yeah.
If you want on franchise,
Yeah.
you can like change the results so you can make them as accurate as possible to real life. Guess what result you can't make?
What?
A draw.
So
So you one of those teams is going to win that game.
well,
No.
it'll probably be the Packers.
But I mean,
So who is Baltimore's backup quarterback?
Baltimore's backup quarterback is Cooper Rush, and
Ah,
Cooper Rush
Cooper
was a
Rush.
backup quarterback for a while at the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
So,
Cooper
yeah,
Rush.
so that's who it's set now. I'll be real. I'm pretty sure it's Cooper Rush. It said C Rush, and that's I'm pretty sure it's Cooper
I'm guessing
Rush,
it's
so.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
But there's still games this round, but that's tomorrow our time, so we will talk to you about next week. The Dolphins playing the Jets and the Broncos playing the Bengals. And then next week, the Vikings still in Europe get to play the Browns in London at 2:30 in the morning on Monday. The Bengals play the Lions on Monday at 9:25, which I don't know why I wrote that down because Joe Burrow is injured, or maybe that's not the Bengals and supposed to be someone else. Who knows? But the game of the Bengals versus the Lions being the game of the round. No, it won't be. The Bengals are not playing the Lions in the game of the round. I've put the wrong team
Have you
here.
fucked it up?
I've put the wrong team here. It will not be. How is the Bengals Lions the game of the round? It's because Joe. I like the Bengals, but it is the Bengals.
Yeah, no.
I got the wrong game.
No, I'm pretty sure. I actually think it might be.
Is that actually the game of the round? It is the game of the round.
Yeah, you probably would have forgotten that Joe Burrow was out with turf toe.
Is it? But isn't he out for a bit?
He's out for 3 months.
Yeah, for something called turf toe. Yikes.
Well, anyway, Bengals and Lions are playing on Monday
Yes,
at 9:25.
But do not count out the Jaguars versus the Chiefs on Tuesday at 1:15 because
Monday night football, aka Tuesday afternoon football here in New Zealand.
I think that'll be pretty good.
It will be.
But 4 teams have to bye, including your Steelers after
they do.
coming from Europe. The Packers, the Bears, and the Falcons also as well. And that's your NFL. So we move on to the Rugby
Let's go.
Championship. South Africa hosted Argentina, somewhere in South Africa. I forgot where it was. And despite a very tight first half and a brain fade from Chislin Colby, which saw him goal line drop out directly to an Argentinian player to concede a try.
Why was he kicking the goal line dropout?
Don't know. South
goodness.
Africa get a massive win, 67-30, and all thanks. I think everyone was saying that he basically did this on his own. Sasha Feinberg, Ngombazelu,
you see, yeah.
yeah. Who found out today that his dad was actually born and raised in England to anti-apartheid activists who had fled South Africa.
Wow.
Because he's
Crazy
half,
that he's playing for South Africa now, if that's the
he's
case.
half white, half
South Africa.
Well, one of the other ethnic groups in South Africa.
Yes.
But his dad was born and raised in England. But obviously, Sasha was born in South Africa.
Yes.
So he is eligible for England. So
Crazy.
Very funny to think of, but no chance in hell he goes away from South Africa. 37 points. One of the greatest individual performances in Springbok history. One of the greatest individual test performances of all time, you'd have to say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say if it's the best or not because I will piss off anyone no matter what.
True.
So, because for me, it's probably that Dan Carter test against Lions, but you know.
But that's that. In terms of points, I think he actually accounted for more points than Dan Carter in that game. I know, but like we said, if you're going to comment on this, we're not here to start
There's
controversy.
obviously
We're here to appreciate greatness.
There's context for both games because obviously he's playing Argentina, Carter was playing the Lions.
Yes.
But they were both about the same age when it happened. So, in those performances, but he had a hat trick as well. He scored a try. He kicked the long ball and caught it himself, because of course he did.
Yeah.
But a sensational performance for South Africa. They're pretty high. They're feeling pretty good. They're top of the Rugby Championship. All they know is that they win against Argentina in the next game this weekend. But they've definitely won the Rugby Championship.
Which I will say, as we've talked about before, Argentina did beat South Africa last year.
They did.
And
they have beaten Australia and New Zealand this year, both teams who have beaten South Africa as well. Yes, South Africa, you did lose to us. Remember? Yeah, you bet us. You did lose to us as well. So that could, and the game is in London. So at Twickenham, who knows what will happen there?
It will be interesting.
I kind of hope that there is an upset there, and then in saying that, the All Blacks will probably go and lose their game as well. But that game will be very interesting. They'll obviously be trying to run the same team which played Argentina and beat New Zealand. So
I think South Africa have also realised now, which is scary, that their young players are ready to go.
oh yeah, I think they always knew that young players were good, but I think they've realised now that they are ready to start in front of the older guys, which I think the All Blacks were hoping would happen like that, but obviously it hasn't because we haven't really given them the chance. So as we move on and get slightly scared for the next World Cup 2 years away, and speaking of the World Cup, the qualifiers are the last, well, not the last qualifier, because there's still a couple to go. Chile and Samoa played in the second leg of their World Cup playoff in Chile. 20,000 Chileans sold out the stadium there. And Chile, against an understrength Samoan team, very understrength Samoan team, get a dominant win 31-12. They're through to their second World Cup. Samoa are not eliminated.
No.
Samoa, they still have one more chance. They qualify for the final qualification tournament. I'm not sure if this is at the end of this year or midway through next. I think it's the end of this year. So this is Samoa need to win. Samoa need to win this. They need to beat Namibia, Belgium, and one of Paraguay or Brazil. They play each other in October in a two-legged tie to see who goes to that. I think Samoa will probably name a full-strength team or as close to it. And that team should probably steamroll all three of those teams. Unfortunately, Samoa will go through. I think most of these teams were hoping it was going to be Canada in that round, who they would have had more of a chance of beating because Samoa lost out to a full-strength Canada with their third-string, second-string side. That Canada side probably would have a rougher time against the likes of Namibia, Belgium, and I'm going to say Paraguay, not Brazil.
I will say it will actually be kind of cool if Belgium makes it.
It would be. It'd be awesome. But not having Samoa in a World Cup, I think, would be huge. Because the amount of Kiwi and Australians right now who aren't in All Blacks and Wallabies contingent are probably thinking of taking a European or Japanese payday and
playing for Samoa, Tonga,
that option's not there. Like, I mean, they're still going to take those contracts, but it'd be huge for them, and there would be real questions over the management of the game there.
Yes, definitely.
But you know, hopefully Samoa can qualify and get enough players. For that sake, they've only ever missed out on one World Cup, and it was the one they weren't invited for in 1987. They've qualified for every World Cup since. Obviously, famously won their first ever World Cup game against Wales in Cardiff, 16-13, and then 8 years later, in '99, they beat them in Cardiff again, which is quite funny.
That's true.
And then 8 years after that, Wales lost to Fiji. I don't think I was at home though. That was in France.
Was.
No, and mate, no. I think it would have been in Wales because when we lost in the 2007 World Cup, which was hosted in France, our quarterfinal was in Cardiff.
No way the Wales have lost in Cardiff at 3 World Cups to Samoa.
I don't know if that was because in 2007 in France, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I might actually just be thinking like a madman right now. But for some reason, that quarterfinal against France, which we lost. Simon, you idiot! Why would it be in Cardiff in France's World Cup? Am I stupid? Yes.
But did Samoa still beat Wales at that World Cup?
Oh my God, no, Cardiff did host games at that. What? Sorry, I have not given this. I have not given this enough look. Why the hell in this tournament? There are 10 venues in France, all in France. Then you have Millennium Stadium and then Murrayfield. And because France got upset in the first game in the tournament, or their first game in the tournament, to Argentina, 17-12, it fucked up their knockout stage because they were expecting to qualify for a Stade de France quarterfinal where they would have played Scotland, but because they finished second in their group, they had to play against New Zealand and Cardiff because they screwed up, which is madness. Because I was thinking, no, wait. Why would have... No, yeah, sorry, that was a thing. They did play in Wales at that World Cup, which is kind of stupid. But even more stupid, Wales didn't play that game against Fiji in Wales. They played it in Nantes. They played the two other games in their group in Cardiff. They played Canada and they played... there would have been another game there. 3 games because... Oh, no, the first game, was in Nantes to Canada, and then they lost... they lost to Australia, and then they beat Japan. They lose to Wales 38-34. Is there a match report for this? Oh, yeah, some great players. Nicky Little for Fiji, Sarah Bai, Cirili Bobo off the bench. banger. Sorry, I went off topic there, but I was just like, well, why would that game be in Cardiff? It was France's home World Cup. No, it's in Cardiff.
There you go.
Stranger things have happened.
True.
But not as strange as that, really.
No, true.
But yeah, only one place left in for the 2027 Rugby World Cup. It will be one of Samoa, Namibia, Belgium, Paraguay, or Brazil. We already know we're going to see Hong Kong's first World Cup, Zimbabwe's first World Cup since 91, Chile their second World Cup after qualifying for the last one. We already know Spain are back for the first time since 99. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
As we move on to the Premier League.
Yes, sir. And it was not a good time for Manchester United.
No, they lose to Brentford pretty convincingly, 3-1, unfortunately for them. If it was any other club, unfortunately, Ruben Amorim would be sacked by now, but it's Man United and they don't know when to call it quits. Chelsea as well. This was a generational day, a generational match day for Arsenal fans because they had 3 successful hate watches. Brentford bet Man United, Brighton bet Chelsea 3-1, and then Crystal Palace bet Liverpool 2-1.
On the last kick of the game
On the last kick of the game, Eddie Nketiah,
yes.
a former Arsenal player around Arsenal.
Don't you mean Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Nketiah.
No, yeah. Come on.
Not Eddie Murphy. No. And then Arsenal themselves scrape and are very lucky to get a last-minute win over Newcastle this morning, 2-1. Moving on, Leeds and Bournemouth. I didn't realise Bournemouth didn't win this 2-2 because Semenyo and Senesi both performed very well in my fantasy despite this. Man City, 5-1 thrashing over Burnley. Everyone who transferred in Erling Haaland on the wild card or triple captain in fantasy would be very happy. I wild carded him. It was a good week for me. Nottingham Forest, what's happening here? 1-0 loss to Sunderland.
Sunderland look good.
They do. They're fifth at the moment. And Crystal Palace are undefeated in third. Only undefeated team left in the comp.
Crazy.
Spurs play out a 1-1 draw against Wolves. 1-1. Another good hate watch for Arsenal. Spurs are still a pretty decent team. Aston Villa finally score and get a win. 3-1 over Fulham. And then Arsenal, like we said, 2-1 win over Newcastle. As this podcast is released, Everton will play West Ham. West Ham have fired Graham Potter and have signed Nuno Espirito Santo, the former Forest boss, as his replacement. I think West Ham will go strength to strength from here. I think they will stay up now because Nuno did that with Forest. The Forest team isn't that much worse on paper. Sorry, that much better on paper than West Ham's, or was last year when Nuno did wonders with Forest and West Ham also, barely stayed up.
He didn't get fired. Sorry.
For poor results.
For poor results,
He got fired because he had several arguments with the quite
eccentric,
childish, eccentric, and self-conscious Forest owner, some Greek guy.
Yes.
Everyone on
some Greek guy.
What football fans do on Twitter at the moment is either Photoshop him to make him look even fatter, or they Photoshop. West Ham fans started Photoshopping Graham Potter's face onto various world well-renowned terrorists and then just anyone who had negative light, which was kind of funny, but I do understand it's a bit much. But you'd scroll and there'd just be, that's Graham Potter photoshopped onto into random terrorist from 20 years ago. You know,
Madness.
like it was all over Twitter.
English football fans need to sort this shit out.
I know. But the only game of note next week in the Premier League is Chelsea hosting Liverpool on Sunday morning at 5:30. Yeah. Champions League wise, we're back on Wednesday, and one of the games of the tournament, I don't care, is going to happen as Kairat of Kazakhstan host Real Madrid, less than 1,000 kilometers away from the Chinese border on Wednesday morning at 5:45. Football Twitter is going to have an absolute field day when Kairat wins this 1-0.
Oh, is that right?
Trust me. Other Wednesday games, Chelsea host Benfica, Galatasaray host Liverpool, and on Thursday morning, Monaco host Man City, Dortmund host your boys Athletic Club,
Bilbao.
Napoli host Sporting, Arsenal host Olympiacos in a banger of a game, Barcelona versus PSG. Also, Ousmane Dembele won the Ballon d'Or, and Rafinha, very shockingly and controversially, only finished in 5th, behind the likes of Mo Salah, Vitinha, and Lamine Yamal.
I think it was more controversial that Mo Salah finished 4th.
I think Salah was fine in the top 5. I think Rafinha probably should have been 2nd.
I think Mo Salah should have won it.
You think Mo Salah should have won the Ballon d'Or?
Well, look at what he did in what is probably the best league in the world. And I'm not saying PSG were great. Ousmane Dembele was great.
I think Dembele or Rafinha just were better players.
I'm not sure that's the case. This is probably our first real disagreement on this podcast.
Yeah,
but I don't
think
that's
Salah
true.
won the Premier League. Yes. and won a Prem title. But at the same time, I think Rafinha and Dembele raised the bar a bit more. Obviously, all wingers. Might I say, apart from Vitinha in that top 5, it's all wingers. Which is
It's always all wingers.
It's always all wingers. I mean, no, you Cannavaro won it once, but that was 20 years ago.
And didn't Rodri
Yes,
recently?
Rodri, Modric.
Yeah.
I guess Nedved was kind of a winger.
But really,
strikers have won it
Messi
as well.
and Ronaldo dominated this
Yeah.
for years. But I do truly think that I get it. Like, it may have been just Premier League and PSG won the Champions League final, stuff
I think
like
that
that.
Rafinha and Dembele were just both sensational. Like, and I think on more of a scale, like, I think Liverpool had a very good team, and same with PSG and Barcelona as well. But I think Rafinha and Dembele made both of those teams more than Salah for Liverpool, which I know is crazy, but that Liverpool team was great.
True.
Even though they didn't win
And the
Champions
Liverpool
League.
team didn't win the Champions League, yeah.
No, and I think it was always going to be between Dembele and Rafinha. I think Rafinha finishing in 5th is a bit of a shock. I think Yamal finishing ahead of him is a bit crazy. I know he's good, but I don't know if he's finishing second.
It's an interesting discussion. Maybe it's a little Premier League bias from me.
It might be.
Which I actually thought back in the day, especially when Messi and Ronaldo were in their prime, that La Liga was the better league than the Premier League.
No,
but,
La Liga...
But in saying that...
It was a bit overhyped. It was only ever Barcelona and Real until Atletico brought in Simeone and they became a genuine title threat and then won the title in 2014.
True.
And then won it 2020.
I get that now. But I still think Mo Salah had such an excellent season.
The bottom teams in La Liga, I think still now and definitely back then were smashed almost every single game by everyone.
Yeah, true.
It was like in the Prem where you had
True.
that only Derby back in 2007 were horrendous.
True.
But you'd have teams who'd lose to Barcelona and Real Madrid 10-0. Like,
True.
You don't
Yeah,
really
very
get,
true.
The record in the Premier League is 9-1, I think, or 9-0.
But it's an interesting discussion to have. But I think Dembele was that guy for PSG
It was.
who was deserving of Team of the Year as well, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still personally would have gone with Salah, but I have no problem with Dembele winning it or Rafinha winning it, to be honest.
Well,
but let's move on to the last thing, man. What do we got?
Well, we've got the Women's Rugby World Cup final, but before that, I guess we'll talk about it next week. MLB playoffs are starting off soon.
Yes.
I don't have any scores here, but all I know is that the Astros choked it and they're not in the playoffs. So
Well, good, because they keep cheating.
apparently it's because the Rangers lost. The rival team to the Astros lost.
I'm going to see. Do they
They
have it
missed out on playoffs.
Do they have it on here? Oh, my God, they do.
The last games were all today. So did the Mets make it? Because they...
No, you know what I was going to do? Shout out to Tribe. I get all my sports off Tribe. Tribe, sponsor us at some point. But I'm looking at this. I thought they covered MLB, and it literally comes up with we in brackets Tribe don't yet cover MLB.
But
no good. No, but you can definitely find it somewhere. Probably ESPN app is probably the best place.
you just go on Google.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Because I know the Cardinals and the Mets were both battling for the last wild card spot from the National League. I think they both finished 83 and 79. I don't know what splits it then. Is it the actual games they played against each other, or? Looking at the things, it looks like the Reds did beat the Mets on some form of tiebreaker because
the Reds are definitely in it
because the Reds are playing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Which we'll quickly say that. So starting on Wednesday, 1st of October, early in the morning, you got the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Tigers. From Detroit, you got the Cubs, Chicago Cubs taking on the Padres at 8 o'clock that day. You got the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Tough. That's going to pop off. We know that.
Holy rivalry on the Wednesday at 11:08. I'm guessing he's a best of.
So I think they're only 3 games because they're wild cards.
They're wild card, best of 3. So those are the wild card series, and the Dodgers and the Reds on Wednesday. So those are the series they all play. Oh, that's cool. 4 games a day. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 6, 8, 11, and 2 kickoffs.
And then I've got it here as well. So whoever wins between the Yankees and Red Sox will play the Blue Jays in the division series.
Go on the Blue Jays.
The winner of the Tigers and Guardians will play the Mariners, who are hoping not to choke it like they have.
I'd love to see the Mariners win it.
Facts. The Cubs and Padres, the winner will play the Brewers. Who have a slide at their stadium, I'm pretty sure. And
much like Auckland FC.
There you go. And then the but this is like
proper slide.
Different, proper slide.
Yeah.
And then the winner of the Reds Dodgers plays the Phillies.
That is the best, I think, seeded 4 teams, I think, in MLB history. You've got the Blue Jays, maybe not the Phillies, the Mariners, and the Brewers. I think seeing the Blue Jays, Mariners, and Brewers there, I guess the Phillies as well a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's great. Because I've always liked the Mariners because they had a very troubled start of Ichiro came in and kind of sussed them out. Yeah. And they played in one of the worst stadiums of all time in the Kingdome, which like basically could have collapsed at any moment.
Yeah, true.
But we got distracted. Women's Rugby World Cup final. England hosted Canada in Twickenham. 81,885 people in the stadium, and more than half of them were in the building for the New Zealand-France game, so it was a doubleheader. And I think I forgot who it was. One of the Kiwi one of the Ferns in the post-match interview, she was talking about how they were told, maybe no one's going to show up because it's a double header. But then she said they ran late because there was way more people at the stadium than they thought there would be because the bus got delayed.
Was it Ruby Tui that said that?
No, it was a current player.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that's just a brilliant sign.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there has been people that have made the arguments of it doesn't make revenue. That argument is starting to get shot to death with numbers like this.
With these tournaments, absolutely. But England get the win, 33-13 over Canada. Great tournament for England at home, redeem themselves. I'm not going to be the salty fan, so we never got to play New Zealand because the chances are they'd probably beat us.
Yes.
And also, that shouldn't be a reason why anyone won a tournament. It's because you got knocked out.
True.
There is one account on Twitter which I like. I don't typically block accounts on Twitter, but I've had to press not interested. It's a South African RAN account. I think it's a bit of a piss take, but at the same time, I don't think it is. And they posted a photo of teams' Rugby World Cup wins, and they took out our 2011 one. Like, I know, sure.
Huh. Why?
Well,
because we didn't play them?
No, well, partially the refereeing in the final we played against France, but also the fact that South Africa were robbed in their game against, I think it was Australia, because I think their argument is they would have bet us at Eden Park and then they would have bet France in the final.
Sure.
But I don't think you can claim that because you're not going to know unless it happens.
You don't see us arguing 2019 and we beat you.
And we don't. And we beat you in 2019 and you don't see us arguing 2023. We won't say it unpromptedly. I think Kiwis will only talk about it if they're prompted. The South Africans will just start...
That's a very Kiwi thing anyway.
We'll just go, like, a random edit of a New Zealand player on Twitter, and then the comment will be someone saying, you robbed us. It'll be like, that wasn't even a part of it. But,
see, this is what I hate, because it's those people that are just trolled.
And it's not just South Africans. Every part of every word in every sport.
There's people that will do that here for sure, and just know they're not welcome.
No, it's frustrating, because we know the majority of fans from South Africa are great. And they're good sports. But I'm starting to see a lot more people online starting to be, lack for a bit of a word, cunts. But I think it's all for views.
Yes, because they can get away with it. That's what social media does, unfortunately.
They don't have their name. But hey, that's it. Rugby World Cup final. It's England's first title since 2014. They also beat Canada in the final. Here, fancy. We didn't even make the top 4 that year. I forgot to look into the tournament.
In 2014?
Yeah, we didn't even make the top 4.
So there you go.
And that was the last time we didn't make a final. We didn't even make the top 4. So this time, the fact we finished 3rd, great.
Yeah.
And our next tournament will be in Australia in 2029. So
big things.
Big things. And that... Unless I've forgotten something, obviously NBA starting soon, NHL starting soon or has started.
True.
MLB in the playoffs, NFL well underway. MLS, we don't talk about that. That's underway. I'm just going American leagues.
What else is there in New Zealand? I mean, like you said, the cricket's starting up. We've got the women's basketball. You'll start to see... I mean, the Breakers will continue their season as well. There is plenty of sport to watch, so go and watch some sport, and then come back and listen to us talk shit about every single one of them.
I think AFLW is still on if that's your thing, but
yeah, absolutely. Just go and watch some sport, and then come back here and watch us sit on a couch, talk shit, and hopefully say something that is just a little smart enough that you're like, okay. Yeah, maybe they know what they're talking about.
Maybe so, but thank you so much for listening or watching to this podcast once again.
Yep.
I've been Simon, not Dylan. And
is that right?
And that's been Dylan, not Simon. As far as I'm concerned, we'll be back here next week recording this for you and uploading at the same time as per usual. Yep. I think there won't be any delays for a little bit. Even though I'm scheduled to go overseas briefly in a month or two. But I think I will be back before a Monday hits, so we won't have to worry.
Yeah, but you're going to be tired as frick.
Well, no, because I'll be getting back a couple of days. So because I'm only going on a quick little excursion.
Well, let's see what happens.
So I think we won't miss it. But thanks again for watching. Dylan, do you have any final words?
Go and follow us on the socials at CouchSide.network on TikTok and Instagram. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, comment some stuff. You know, we're here to create positive conversation, the positive conversation about sport. Yes, it can get competitive, but let's keep it healthy.
Yes.
And also, if you are watching this on Spotify, follow the podcast on Spotify. But that is it from me. Is that it from you?
I think that's it from me as well.
As we usually say, Simon, what do we say?
Oh, well, we say something along the lines of CouchSide out.
CouchSide out.